Hello everyone, I'm Sherry. I'm a health coach with the CGH Health Foundation, and I'm back with another easy, healthy recipe for our What's Cooking CGH video series. Today's recipe is inspired by an iconic salad that you have probably become familiar with, and only in the Midwest, and I did the quotes because only in the Midwest would we call something that's made with Jell-O and cream cheese and whipped topping and butter and pretzels a salad. So yes, I'm talking about strawberry pretzel salad, and it's not really the healthiest thing, of course. It's a treat, and it does come with a lot of sugar and with fat. And so when I saw this recipe, I thought, oh, well, that sounds really interesting. It gives you the flavors of the strawberry pretzel salad, but without any of the sugar and a lot of that fat that goes with it. And I can't take credit for the recipe. I saw it on a website. I have tweaked it a little bit to make it even more nutritious, if you will. And so my version, I'm calling it the strawberry pretzel protein bowl. I'm going to show you how I make it. So I'm going to start out with the strawberries, and you can use fresh or frozen strawberries. I am using a frozen strawberry today. I have made it with fresh strawberries as well. It doesn't really matter. If you start with frozen strawberries like I did, you're going to want to thaw them out. So I put them in the microwave for just a couple of minutes. With fresh strawberries, you want to cut them up into slices or something, because we're going to mash the strawberry, and that'll go a lot easier with the fresh berries if they're smaller pieces. The frozen product, the cell structure has been broken down by the freezing process, so you don't have to do that. And so whatever tool that you want to use, I have this handy chopping, scraping tool that I got at one of those home kitchen parties, but you can use a potato masher or the back of a spoon or a fork or whatever you want to do. So we're just going to mash up those strawberries, and we do want to leave some chunks of berry in there for the texture, but our object is to get them to be really juicy. And that didn't take very long, and I think you can see I am there with the juicy strawberries. Just a couple of more whacks with it there. Okay, so let me set that tool aside. The next thing I'm going to add, and this is optional, I would say, but I am going to put in a tablespoon of chia seeds. And the reason I'm going to do that is that the chia seeds are going to add some additional protein, because remember, this is a strawberry pretzel protein bowl, and they're also going to add some fiber. And I've used the chia seeds in a couple of my recipes before, and so if you remember that when you mix the chia seed with liquid, it forms like a gel. And so we're trying to replicate strawberry Jell-O with strawberries in it from the strawberry pretzel salad. So instead of strawberry Jell-O, we're going to get gelled strawberries, right? And so it'll take a few minutes, and even if you wanted to even do this the night before, you could do that, but it's not really necessary. We're just going to mix those chia seeds in really well, and then we're going to set those strawberries aside for later. So let's move on to that creamy layer, and we're going to use cottage cheese to help to achieve that. And I have been seeing a ton of cottage cheese recipes. I liked one cottage cheese recipe on social media, and you know how that algorithm goes. Now I see all the cottage cheese recipes. So that's actually where I found this recipe is on one of those sites. And the cottage cheese gives it the same kind of back flavor as the cream cheese does. I chose a low-fat cottage cheese, and one serving or a half a cup of the low-fat cottage cheese for this one is 13 grams of protein. So that's going to take us a long way toward our protein goal for this bowl. So I'm going to put a half a cup in there in my dish. I bought a small curd cottage cheese. The texture of the cottage cheese doesn't bother me so much. I am going to break it up a little bit in case there's any larger curds in there. If you didn't think you would like the texture, then you can throw this in the blender with the next ingredient, and the next ingredient is going to be a single serving of vanilla yogurt. And when I choose yogurt, I look for a few things. So first of all, I want as few ingredients as possible. And so this is a brand that I do like. And it has very few ingredients, and the 000 indicates no fat, no sugar, etc. And because it's a Greek yogurt, the protein is a little more concentrated, so this single serving of yogurt has 15 grams of protein. So we're already up to 28 grams of protein for this dish. And what we're going to do is to combine the yogurt and the cottage cheese in your bowl to form that creamy layer. Okay, let me get that stirred up a little bit. And when I saw this, I'm like, wow, I never would have thought of combining yogurt and cottage cheese, but it works in this dish. I think you'll like it. With yogurt options, so I've made this a few different ways. This would be a plain non-fat Greek yogurt, and I do like this brand as well. So this one in particular has only cultured non-fat milk. That is the only ingredients plus the cultures, the bacteria that's been added. So if you wanted something even less sweet, you could go with a plain non-fat yogurt. That would be another option for you. So all we're gonna do is mix up the cottage cheese and the yogurt in your bowl. So we get those combined. That's again half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese and a 1 single serving tub of vanilla Greek yogurt. All right, got that done. And the next thing we'll do is to put those strawberries in a layer over top of the yogurt and cottage cheese mixture. And if you remember the strawberry pretzel salad, in that recipe they make a crust of butter and sugar and the crushed up pretzels, and they put that on the bottom of the dish, and then they add the other ingredients on top. And that was one of my objections to it, is that the pretzels get kind of soggy. In this dish, we're going to sprinkle the pretzels over top so that they stay crunchy. And so I have just about 10 of the little mini braid pretzels, and I am just going to crush them up in my hands. I have washed my hands recently, and sprinkle them on top of my strawberry pretzel protein bowl. And there you have it. It's done. That's it. It was that easy. And if we look at the nutrition, so we had 28 grams of protein that came from the cottage cheese and the yogurt together. We're going to get another couple of grams of protein from the chia seeds, and another couple of grams of protein even from the pretzels, have a little bit in them. And so well over 30 grams of protein in this dish. You could eat it for breakfast. That would be a great way to utilize it. You could have it for a snack. You could use it for a dessert. There are some other options for this, and I've tried a few. I made this using peaches, so many of us like peaches and cottage cheese together. I did that a couple weeks ago. It was really good. Toppings are another thing that you can vary. So this is a kind of a fun mixture to have that crunchy, salty pretzel on top of the strawberries and the cottage cheese mixture. But you could use some sliced nuts. I think I did sliced almonds on top of those peaches. If you look back in our recipe file on the What's Cooking CGH blog, you'll find a blueberry chia jam that I made. I think that would be a great topping, again, with some sliced almonds. You could top it with some granola, and try other fruits as well, you know, maybe raspberries or pineapple. There are a lot of ways that people enjoy cottage cheese and fruit together, so use your imagination to put some of those together. Let's give this a taste. I know it's good because I've made it multiple times already. It's such a good combination. I hope you'll give this a try, and take a look at all of our recipes on whatscookingcgh.com. See you next time.